Hi everyone, welcome to Sports Kabri. With me are Adi and Rishi. First day of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy in Perth. What a brilliant day's play! I think it's fair to say that it's very exciting for a neutral. 17 wickets on day one. That's a lot of spicy bowling. The wicket, of course, aided the bowlers. There was some lateral movement throughout the day. There was bounce, there was pace, as you'd expect in most Australian wickets. And yeah, you really had to get it up there if you wanted to get batters out, especially if you want to get them caught LBW. So yeah, we're going to start off right at the top. Yeah, India batting first. They won the toss, went to bat first, as you probably expect. Don't want to be batting towards the back end of any test match. Um, but yeah, it was going. It was Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul. We lost Jaiswal fairly early in the innings for nothing. Then you lost Devdutt for nothing, and then you had Virat Kohli going cheaply for five. So up until Pant and Rahul started batting together, there was really nothing in that Indian batting, especially the first couple of left-handers, right? Just in terms of course, it was hard. It was hard to bat there. There was some unplayable deliveries, especially. But I think this is one of Mitchell Stark's best performances I have seen in a long time. He was on the money. He didn't overpitch a lot. He was right there every single time, especially to that spell to Devdutt. He was just fantastic. So yeah, it was hard to bat, but you can see that the inexperience told, bro. Especially for somebody like Jaiswal and somebody like Padikkal. Um, Rishi, what do you make of that first session? Because first session of play that really got India in a lot of bother. We lost like, KL Rahul as well towards the end of that session. So yeah, it wasn't a great session for India. And what do you put it down to?
It's a combination of a lot of things. You can't just, I mean, sure, like I think everything had like some level of contribution. I felt like inexperience of the youngsters had a part to play. I think lack of judgment or lack of better anticipation from the experienced players also had a part to play, and some bad luck also had a part to play when it comes to KL's wicket. And then I felt again, I felt players like Yashasvi Jaiswal, Virat, and even Devdutt Padikkal. To be honest, Devdutt Padikkal, I felt you couldn't do anything about that ball. It's not like he went searching for it like that. Like they set him up, they worked him well, He couldn't, he wasn't able to get bat on any of the balls that Stark bowled. And Hazelwood was consistently bowling to him outside off and making him tempt. And then finally he bowled a ball that was pitching on the just outside off and just moving away. I think that
Yeah,
was like at the end of the day, of course, he did score a duck, but I felt that was one of those balls where you can just look at it and be like, fair enough, you can't do anything about it. That was just a really good ball. But
I
on the other
think
hand,
yeah,
like you look at a wicket of Jaiswal, like that could have been completely avoidable. Like you don't go slashing at a ball like that when you're of course you want to show intent, that's one thing, but you have to respect the good ball. There's a really good ball that was right on the length. You don't go slashing like that, and especially for someone with with a huge backlift like Jaiswal's, to bring the bat down when the ball is coming at you at such pace, I think you should have just played it out. You should have just been a bit more patient. I think that lack of experience really did show up initially.
yeah, bro. Just on Devdutt, I think Jaiswal pretty easy to break down. That it was one that probably just inexperience told. And with Dev, I thought, dude, like because of the number of unplayable balls he got, especially from Stark, when he got his chance to get off the mark, he wasn't able to because he just looked out of sorts. And I think even if he didn't get out to Hazelwood in that over, it was not going to be a great day for him. He just looked extremely low in confidence. He looked
He
like
looked
he
kind of
looked
out of
rattled.
place a bit.
Yeah, he looked
Like
really rattled. Yeah, he didn't look like he was up for it. It did look like it was a bit too much for him. Um, but on the other hand, KL Rahul, I thought was India's. Of course, I didn't watch the latter half of India's innings, which was Nitish Reddy's innings live. That is, but I thought KL Rahul was really good, extremely good. Like I think you have to give him credit where it's due. The way he played out the sort that those first 15, 20 overs was amazing. I thought. unlucky when he got out. I remember saying it even before. Um, like we went into Snicko, I thought that he hit the pad, and I felt like the ball also passed the bat at the same time, and they will give it out. And eventually, that's what happened. And I felt if he really nicked it, he wouldn't. There wouldn't be much of an argument. Like the batters just know that they've nicked it and they'll walk. Especially, I've never seen Kale really stay back and like argue or talk about it, right? So I just felt like he was hard done by. But Adi, you thought Kale was gone, or you think? Just in general, I think the third umpire could have taken a lot longer. It was way too quick, I thought. But yeah,
See, the thing with the third umpire, I don't blame him that much because, again, I don't know how it works behind, but from the angle he was getting during the third umpire, it was like the snicko is there and you're not able to see the bat touching the pad. The angles from where me as a viewer was watching, and I believe that the umpires get the same thing, but I'm not sure again if they get more angles. But if it was only what the TV coverage was, it was that's the thing. I think it was more of a Fox Cricket, Fox Sports, or whatever it was. They were not giving all the information to the umpire, showing all the angles. I think that was the main issue because I can't blame the umpire that much because there is a protocol. If you see Snicko and there's a there is that waves and going up and down in the frame and the ball and the bat are close to each other, I think they're going to give it out no matter what. I think it happened even against India, New Zealand, same way. I think it was Rishabh Pant, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I think the umpires generally will give it out, but the only difference here that it was not out as the entire decision from the standing umpire there was not out. And if the umpire sees KL touching the bat, you can clearly see there was a gap between the ball and bat. It was not very consistently close where you can say, okay, you can't make it out from the naked eye. You could see there was a big gap. And also the Snicko only, vibrates when he hits the pad of when the bat hits the pad. So I think I wouldn't want to blame the umpire that much because I feel it was more of, again, from my viewing, it was more of the coverage, TV coverage, not giving all the angles. But again, I would also expect the umpire third. If I'm a third umpire and I want to make sure, I would ask them to give me all angles. I would make sure to there is nothing going down to luck or anything else. I want to make sure if I was a third umpire, I would make sure like every angle is covered and then make a decision. So I think it goes both ways. But I don't think he was out. I still think the thing is, as you said, I feel like he would have been given out no matter what because of the unfortunate timing of the Snicko vibrating at the time of the ball and bat. So I think realistically he wasn't out, but the way umpires work generally would have been out. It's that kind of thing. But before that, the 73 balls he faced, I think he was India's best batsman today, even over players like Pant and Nitish Kumar Reddy. I think he was the one who handled the new ball the best. To be fair, when Jaiswal came in, he didn't struggle at all. The 8 balls he faced, he didn't struggle, but they set him up. You see the entire first over, Sark was bowling right to him, right to his body. And then the first loose ball he gives outside off stump, he just went searching. He was not, I think it was more of he wasn't able to judge the line and length and the amount of bounce he's going to get out of that left ball. And it was just too wide, too early for him to play. And then it was an edge. But I think Jaiswal also didn't struggle, in my opinion, that much. I mean, I feel like if he understood the bounce of the pitch better, he could have played better. I think this suits him more, anyways. But again, KL was playing well, bro. Like he was leaving when he needs to leave, he was going when he needs to go, and his front foot defense was solid the entire game. So I think Indian batters should have looked at how he played and somehow incorporated it. I, I feel for Dev that as I said, I feel like I can't blame him too much. I just don't think he's at this level. I don't think he should be playing for India against Australia in the highest level. Not in my opinion. I don't think he's ready for this cricket. He's not played enough international cricket. He's not played enough Test cricket for India to just come in and play outside India, Australia against Australia. I just don't think it was necessary. I would again going back. I would rather have Virat Kohli at number 3 than Dev. That I just think it was a waste of a spot. And coming to Virat Kohli, I think we need to start having conversations about how he's going in the Test setup. ODI, T20, he's fantastic. But when it comes to Test, I think there is a bit of a problem there because I was just looking at Virat Kohli over the past 4 years in his batting performances. I was surprised that he's only scored 2 centuries in around 64 to 66 innings that he's played
Yeah.
since 2020.
It
And
hasn't
those
been
two
good.
and the 2 centuries came in one ODI, I mean one test series, right? That was against Australia last year. So if you take that one series out, he hasn't scored a century. Like, no,
And
I'm
that
sorry.
one was in Ahmedabad. One against
Uh,
Afghanistan, one against Australia in that dead flat Ahmedabad track.
Bro, do you guys think he looks less hungry than he ever was? Because I don't know, man. Today, even
bro,
when he came to bat, the demeanor, it felt like his shoulders were down. I don't know. I didn't
I-
watch him too much in the field, but that drop catch, dude, like it just looked to me
bro,
like
I feel like the drop catch was just unlucky. I feel
no,
like
no, it's not the
it
unlucky
happens.
part. It's not the unlucky part of it. Like I'm not saying I don't blame him for dropping the catch, but it was the reaction almost after the catch that made me go like, bro, like Kohli would not react like that to a drop catch. Like it's almost
That
the
dog
attitude and the
business.
demeanor that's putting me off. I'm like it's weird.
I
How much
mean, bro,
longer
I feel
can
like
this
anyone
guy
else
put this?
did that. I don't think anyone would have cared. I think it's just too much. Because you go back to like, I've seen Pun dropping, I've seen KL Rahul dropping, I've seen all the best catches dropping. I feel like I don't, going into his reaction, I don't think there was much to read in it. He dropped the catch. I think it was more like, obviously, if it's a, sitter and he's going to drop it, he felt a bit guilty and like hardened by it. You could see it. But I think it was fine. I think the entire game he was still very aggressive the entire time. He was celebrating the entire time. I could see he was going, he was trying to mess with Labuschagne the entire time. I feel like with Kohli, I don't think that thing is gone. For me personally, I think it was still the same old Kohli. I think today was more than the previous three tests against New Zealand. I think today it was more. I don't think, I think maybe his performance today also brought it out. Maybe it's Australia, maybe the momentum how the game went towards us. But I feel like it's still the same, bro. I just feel like one thing is that he doesn't have the responsibility like he used to. I think now Rohit Sharma being the captain, Gambhir getting most of the headaches. I think that just helps him, be a bit more relaxed and a bit more. You can see he's very jovial, very jokey with his teammates. I think before he was, before, I've never seen him do that when he was the captain compared to when he lost the captaincy. So I think it's more of that.
Yeah, I guess.
Like to be
But
honest, like Virat on the field, I feel nowadays at least is a different type of a person. At least when he comes to bat, like on the crease, like today for me it was pretty evident. Like he was almost like he was anxious. Like he wanted to get he wanted to get accustomed to the situations. He was looking kind of jumpy. Like even the first couple of shots, like he was trying to get off the mark. He was trying to rotate strike. Like usually when he's on top of his game, you see a little bit more elegance, a little bit more confidence, even a hint of arrogance. But today it was just looking kind of anxious, and even the his like response to the wicket, like of course that ball did jump up a bit, but when you're standing like that far down the crease, you have to anticipate ball coming to your chest. And but on the field, quite contrast it was. Like he was like almost liberated. Like Bumrah, and he was always talking to Bumrah. Bumrah was always like taking suggestions. I don't know what, like probably field set or whatever it is that they were like communicating. He was always chirping. He was very lively. But this is something again that has been noticed for quite a while. That at least when he's at the crease batting, he's not that confident. He doesn't look that comfortable. At least like maybe it's the
mhm.
pressure. Maybe it's that extra weight of responsibility.
He hasn't looked good, I think, for a while now, and it just begs the question: how much longer will India persist with Virat Kohli's form? It's going to be interesting because, yeah, I think he has to come good sooner rather than later. But yeah, you've got through the middle, Rishabh Pant, 37. I think he always scores runs. Even he's got that unorthodox style, but he always scores runs. I don't even know how, but yeah, he just does it. Dhruv Jurel looked decent, I thought, for his 11, but gave us away wicket away again pretty cheaply. Um, Washington Sundar, 4 of 15. A lot of things have been said about him, whether he really brings that extra batting depth to India or not. Nitish Kumar Reddy, stand out on debut, 41 of 59. Um, and played with the tail. So credit to him for that batting performance, especially because people were sort of seeing him more as a seam bowling all rounder rather than like a batting all rounder. What do you guys
I
think?
mean, I
What do you think?
mean, it's early days for me to say what he is. I think you could say if they went for the DRS in the first when he scored 10 runs, I think it would have been a different story. He got
Mm.
dropped twice, but when he played, he looked pretty decent. I can't lie. Uh, I think it's very early days with him to be like, can he play test match? Can he play test match? Can he ball? Because if you're getting in for both batting and bowling, we need to see the bowling side of it also, right? Because again, if you want to play Nitish Reddy only for the pure aspect of batting, and then maybe in a day, couple of overs. I mean, sorry, in a spell of 20-30 overs, you're giving him a couple of overs. I don't see the benefit out of it overall. I think someone else can come and do a better job. But again, it's too early for us to sit and judge his performance through this day. I feel like even with his batting, I think it was good to the extent of I think he was able to stay in there for a longer time. He was able to fight compared to the other batsmen for sure. But again, he got dropped twice. So I just want to like maybe in a sample of 3-4 games you can gauge better about what kind of player he is. Can he play? Uh, can he play test the same way he was able to play? The thing with T20, the thing is when I saw him batting, I think the full length ball helped him. He was able to play the full length ball better than other batsmen. Maybe it's a bit of T20 helping him there to judge the line and play it better, because I think he was actually able to play the drives better than I feel like your general Jaiswals, your Indian batsman generally. So I think in that sense he was able to play the ball pretty well.
Yeah, fair play to him. I thought, I mean, yeah, he got dropped, like you said. Of course, there was a DRS thing down the leg side, which Australia didn't take. But uh, just in general, for somebody who was batting with the tail, I thought not bad. Showed himself, played with some courage. And yeah, he scored some runs. Um, Second innings, bro, Jesus. What do you say about Jasprit Bumrah, bro? Like, just what do you say about him, dude? Like,
Game
dude, I
Overrated.
changing
heard, I
player.
heard a lot of things before the series. Oh, captaincy. Oh, that'll add so much more pressure. He's not going to be the same. He probably it'll take a toll on him. This, that doesn't matter, bro. Like, if Virat takes that catch, he has five in the first day of the series. That's incredible. So, yeah, he's already got four. Rishi, what do you make, bro? Jasprit Bumrah is again, bro. I don't know. We just come back to this conversation. Probably the best bowler in the world, but and apparently there was a map of all the bowlers that from today's play, and Bumrah was
His
by far the
accuracy,
most consistent.
most
So
consistent,
dude
most
just
accurate.
tells you what he is, like what he can. And bro, the funny thing is, if you, the one thing I'd say like Bumrah doesn't have is that genuine swinging, like ability to swing the ball. But if you're going to leave
He
grass on
still
the pitch and
swings
you're,
the new ball. Like, of course, he
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
swing it like a traditional, like
yeah.
medium pace swingers, but he still swings the ball.
But he gets a lot off the pitch. So, and if
It's
you're
Yeah.
going
it
to
is
leave
not
some,
natural swinging. I mean,
no,
it's more of
but if
the
you do leave,
conditions. I feel
but that's the thing with Bumrah. Like he's already so deadly. If you want to leave, like give him more with the pitch, he's going to eat you up, and that's exactly what
bro.
he did.
That's the sad part. That's why I don't understand why India just didn't ball first. I feel like if India balled first, I feel like Australia would have been all out for like 50 marks. I just think, as I said before, like I don't think Australia batsmen are like set and they're ready. I don't think they've been in form. I don't even think they know how to bat these conditions well. Anyways, I feel like India should have like just been braver and balled first, because I feel like getting Bumrah into this kind of pitch, he would have been benefited more than sitting and batting there. Like there was so much grass there to just go and bat, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. But bro, I mean, just
Bro,
some of
like
the I just
I
watched
like
those
you.
spells.
I saw like a couple of weeks ago and last week I saw Harris Ruff bowl to these Australian batsmen. They looked uncomfortable. Okay, I don't mean to downplay what Harris Ruff did, but today was an entirely different kind of
Bro,
unplayable, uncomfortable.
I think
This opening,
Nathan McSweeney on debut, bro, he would have been crapping his load. Like
bro,
there's
I've
no
seen bowlers bowl with new ball in Australia and dominate. I don't think I've ever see someone have such command over the new ball like Bumrah did. Like he was getting the ball to bounce off the seam left, right, center. Like Usman Khawaja didn't know whether to leave it, whether the ball is going to come back, whether the ball is going to skid away from him. He was playing a guessing game entirely. Same with McSweeney. Like the first couple of balls went down the leg. After that, it was like I've honestly not seen anyone have such command over the new ball, get the ball to bounce just purely off hitting the seam. Like, dude, we're talking about a lot of bowlers coming in and bowling in Australia. You have your Dale Steins, you have McGrath with not express pace, you have Mitchell Johnson who was coming in and sending rockets. But I like Bumrah is not that, he doesn't put that much effort in the pace. It is a natural action from his shoulder. He generates ample amount of pace. It's the
Yeah.
rushing feeling that you get. Like it's just pure control over the ball. I do not think I've ever seen someone have a better opening spell, dude. Like my
He
God,
really
once you,
hurries you up. And I'm so happy he's the captain, bro, because now there's no thing of, oh, let's go to this guy for the first over, let's go to that guy for the first over. He'll just be like, bro,
just
finally
give
it's
it.
me. I will do it. Let me bowl the first over. And yeah, bro, what a guy, bro. I don't even know. Uh, Again, I was watching like
Wait,
a
just a
lot of,
second. I want to
lot of
wait.
things.
Just to put things into perspective.
Yeah.
So turns out Bumrah has 36 wickets. Okay, in Australia, he
Mhm.
averages 19.2. Okay, only three other bowlers have had more wickets with a better average, out of
Okay.
which two stopped bowling before the 20th century.
Wow. Okay.
The only other one is Richard Hadley. And even Richard Hadley bowled at an era where batsmen are not scoring at this
Yeah,
level.
not at
Like
this thing.
they're not looking to score 200, 300, 400, whatever. So even at this stage of the game, even at this era of the game, if someone's coming into Australia and if they're bowling at 19 averaging and picking up 36 wickets, I don't think this is something you see that often, man.
I think it's again, bro, like a captain's performance for him. I've I think I really like Bumrah as captain, just in terms of like how he
Oh,
can.
it looked like the team
India's
was
best
up
player,
for it.
bro. He's India's best player by far.
Like even today, like just by their demeanor, by their attitude, like on the field, they looked like they were up for it. They looked collective. It just looked a lot more lively.
Yep. I didn't watch them in the field. I think you thought like there was that feeling of okay, yeah, like it looked energetic.
I mean, I think it's more of momentum. I think getting that start what Bumrah gave obviously energizes you because if you're coming down with only 150 runs in the first innings within 2 sessions, I think the team's going to be down and getting three early wickets very quick fire, almost four to be fair, and especially from ball one, I knew that these guys were going to struggle in terms of apart from the first over. I think first over, I think it was a bit. I mean, first ball to McSweeney only you could see McSweeney struggling. I felt like the first ball, I think he left it and it comes back into him
I
and
think
it hits it back.
that would have scared the hell out of him,
I
bro.
think
Like
it
that
did.
would have scared
See
the
him, he
hell
was
out
a
of him.
bit rattled. I think everyone realized he was rattled, and you could see his face, bro. Like he didn't have any emotion. You could just look at a bit of nervousness, fears, that kind of face. I don't know if that's how he is generally, or it is because his debut and coming against a fast bowler and opening on a debut, it's going to be tough. And you could see he was struggling. I realized instantly, okay, these guys are going to struggle today. And as soon as McSweeney got out, when Labuschagne walks in, bro, again, I've heard a lot about Labuschagne in Australia. I've never personally watched him consistently enough, to be fair. Whenever I watched him against India, especially, he's not impressed me that much. I think he has a bit of shades of Pujara where it's like a dogfight for him the first 50 balls. And if he's able to settle in and get the rhythm, that's when he score runs. But even to get those 60, 70 balls through, he struggles. Like what I've seen personally, a lot of times. And today, since ball one, bro, you could see he was just dancing today. He was doing some break dance. He's going left, right, left, right. Like he didn't, bro. I'm so surprised how he, like, is it an Australian thing? Like, do they just forget how to play batting? Like batting
No, I
in
think
their
it's a Gujarat
countries?
thing.
Dude, even with Siraj, even with some Harshad Rana, they were struggling. That's my whole point. I think all the three bowlers bowled equally well. I don't think anyone bowled, I still would say all three were on par because, at the end of the day, when, Travis Head came in, Mitchell Marsh came in, it was the bowlers came in and still did a great job. So again, I feel like that was there, but bro, I still feel like it's down to Australians just not knowing how to bat these conditions well. Like I feel like they were just too jumpy to similar to Virat in the sense of they were just too jumpy to just get off the mark. Even with Smith, like that ball, he didn't have to come across the leg stump, across the mid wicket to play that shot. Like I think,
No, but that's something that he does, and that's what
yes,
Smith
I
is.
get it.
Bro, I'm going to give 100% credit to Bumrah for that because you know Smith is going to do that. First ball, he's going to come across the stumps. He wants to cover the off stump. He doesn't want to he doesn't want you to beat his outside edge. And
I
for
know,
you to
but
have the courage to attack his stumps and look for that LBW, bro, I give all credit to Bumrah because traditionally, whenever I see Smith bat, I think that's the main way to get him out, which is you have to trap him in front of the
Expose
stumps.
his, yeah,
You
expose
will
him in
not
front.
get him otherwise. So I'm bro,
exactly.
that is
But
full
bro, for
credit to
me, it
Bumrah.
was more like you see the McSweeney ball, it was just almost similar. It was ditto copy, same. And that's the thing. I feel like Smith didn't have to go from the first ball, just go. Like I think it's more like he saw the previous wicket. He knows how Bumrah is coming, and it was not just the previous wicket. He was bowling the same line and length for the entire time to McSweeney. My whole point was, again, all credit to Bumrah. I don't think we're taking that away, but I'm talking about how just being more critical with the Australian batsmen. I feel like they just didn't do a good job the entire day. I think apart from the first two wickets, especially with Smith, I feel like Smith was the guy shouldn't have gotten out the way he got out. But I feel like others, I think you can't do much. I with Travis said, I think it was just a lazy shot. I think it was a very ordinary ball compared to the way he got out. But I just feel like it was a bit of timing and it was just a lazy shot. Apart from these two, I feel like others just didn't play well. Especially Labuschagne, I think coming as the number three, and it's going to be tough. I think he was not able to read itself. Like the fact that he saved for 53 balls, that surprised me the most because I don't know what he did the 53 balls, bro. Like that only the entire game, the best shot he scored was on his first run. Apart from that, I just don't know what he did the entire game.
Yeah,
Like I just can't.
Lavishing 2 of 52 is long occupied the crease for a fairly long period. Um, Travis had 11 of 13, Mitchell Marsh of 6 of 19, and probably the standout batter for them, Alex Carey, 19 of 28. He's looked good in Shield cricket apparently, Carey before coming into the series. So he's probably going to be the one guy who will be good throughout the series. He's
Harry's
coming.
always been good with India. I feel like
Yeah,
even the last time
yeah,
he
he's
was,
then a
he
good
He
was
batter.
plays spin also. He's the only one who consistently
exactly.
goes down
Yeah,
and like tries to smother the
yeah,
spin.
and he's coming in with good form. So I'm sure Carey's going to be one to watch throughout the series. Just quick word on Harshit Rana because I didn't watch him bowl. I have the only thing that I've seen him do like throughout the day. Like the only ball I saw was that beauty to Travis head, which I thought was a beauty. Like it was almost unplayable. How was he? What do you guys make of Harshit Rana? Because his figures
Wait,
don't.
you think? Okay, wait. I don't want to interrupt, but you think the ball was unplayable, bro? It was a very ordinary ball. I can't lie.
No, it was
Like
like
it
good
was a
ball,
good test. It was like a good line and length, but
proper
I
off.
think I feel like it
Again,
was. I think it was more of like head was just too lazy to play the shot through.
head doesn't like again. He didn't
Dude,
move
you
the field
realize
well
that
enough.
He didn't.
No,
He didn't
that
go to
guy.
the. He didn't go
he
to the
was
length
looking
like
down.
the line
He
of the
looks
ball. Like he
down,
just stayed. He just his feet were rooted,
and
trying
he
to
looked down.
reach out and play.
But I
I
feel like
agree.
that's a
I agree. I'm not saying Travis Head didn't do everything he could. I think he could have done more, but I can't take the fact away that it was top of off. It pitched off stump and it just straightened. Like it was a
no,
good
it was
delivery.
top of off, correct. But I feel like it's a very ordinary defense if you just play it through. Like that's my point. I feel like a lot of these balls, when a batsman just defends it, you wouldn't look at it. I feel like the fact that he missed it, it just looks playable. But I still feel like it was a good line and length. I think it was a very tight line and length. Something you would generally ball in Test cricket. But I
Mm.
just don't think it was like. I think it was more. I would give it shifted more to the batsman. I just feel like, especially head he was playing, he should have played it through. I just feel like I don't know what it was. It laziness or was it just not able to look and play? I don't know what it was, but I feel like it was more of like
Yeah,
head. He should have played it.
yeah, fair play. But I'm just crediting the bowler. I think it's a decent ball.
Like, to
But
be
yeah, I'm
honest,
not. I
he
agree.
did like Harshit Rana did have like a couple of good moments. Like for a debut, it's not bad. Like you can't expect 100% discipline. Like of course, like if he had done that, it would have been great. But it was not like very erratic either. Of course, he did have a couple of balls here and there where he would look good. He would look to set up the batsman and then proceed with a loose one here and there. Like he was just letting. I think Travis had hit him over point for a four. I think, and then he bowled the next one was down the leg. Like There were a couple of moments like that, but I felt there were also spells where he was really hitting the proper Australia deck. Like he was making the batsmen confused, like whether they should leave it, whether they should take it on their body. So it was a really good start, to be fair.
I'm going to be intrigued to see Harshit Rana actually today, later today, later in the evening for me, but tomorrow morning for you guys. But Chetan Prabhu is saying we need to restrict them to below 100. That'd be such a big morale booster for the test and the series. I think we can keep them down to less than 100, 67 for 7 Australia at the moment. And yeah, even if you got carry at one end, but you can really clean up the tail at the other end, especially with the way Bumrah is going. I don't think it should take him long. He'll be coming off of a good night's sleep, probably 3-4 overs, wrap it up. And yeah, do you guys think a first innings lead will set the tone for the rest of the series for India?
Yeah, like hands down, I think that will, like, if we can get 60 lead, if we can get to 250, I don't think Australia are chasing it down. Like 250 is going to be too much. Like again, Bumrah is going to be on top of his game. With Siraj, his first spell was mediocre, but he came back and bowled really well in his second spell. Like that's where he got Labuschagne. He was hitting those. He was actually bowling consistent. Like I felt that had something to do a lot more with his performance in the Test match.
Yeah, I think we just lost Rishi there,
Mm.
but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, bro, I think it's going to be a long series. I just don't want to get in anything because the problem with, I think, Test cricket or the way India's batting, Australia's batting, I just feel like one day, 2 sessions, it can swing left to right like a pendulum. Like in the morning before you slept, I'm sure you would have thought, okay, we lost the first test. Like I think it would have automatically felt like that. And then you wake up and you're seeing, Australia 67 for 7. You're like, okay, now it's back to us. Then tomorrow another innings. I just feel like it's just too early to see how this Test cricket is going to go. I feel like 5 series is going to be very long time for the entire series. It can be a confident booster for sure, but I think the problem with these tests are it's going to be different conditions, right? Because today I feel like Perth is a different condition. The next time we play in Gabba, it's going to be way different. There's going to be a pink ball test. I think there's going to be too many factors to just leave it. But for me, it's more of I think India should go session by session. Just learn to play each session by itself, bro. I feel like again today I go back to the batting because coming to the series, I just felt like okay, no matter what, India is going to do well in batting. But the way they played today, for example, you see how KL and Punt played. I think you should have like overall the Indian batsmen should have done more from today. Like apart from maybe Devdutt, I don't want to put too much pressure on him. Like the rest should have done better. Like I just feel like they were not able to capitalize. I still feel like Australians, the way they were bowling apart from Stark, I don't think they were that great. I think every wicket we lost was we just gifted them. Hazelwood was just keeping it very tight. That's where like patience, perseverance comes, and that's where I feel like before going into the series, Hazelwood was like, I'm so glad Pujara is not there because they know someone like Pujara is just going to make you ball the same ball 100 times if it comes down to it. And KL was the only one who was doing that today. Well, like
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing. And even
100%.
Rishabh Pant, to an extent, you could see generally he goes a bit fast paced, but today even he took his own time to start scoring runs. I feel like that's how Indians should have played today. Even with Dev, that he was struggling for 23 balls, I feel like he should just let it come to him. He went chasing because of the fact, okay, I'm 0 for 23 now. I need to score runs. Same thing with Jaiswal. I think if the thing with Australia, I feel like you can be batting very well, but just that one ball and you're out. Like that's how Australia works. I feel like these guys need to just learn how to pace their innings through, and I feel like if that happens, India's is going to be like favorites to win this.
Yeah, they definitely look on top at least at the moment. I think if you could take anything out of today's play, apart from Bumrah's bowling, you have to take KL's batting. I think that was a real template as to how you play on tough wickets. The way he left the ball, he got some beauty, some unplayable ones. You can't do anything about it. But
Bro, I think he should have
like,
scored like 2, 3 fours if that outfield was just weirdly not slow.
yeah,
Like,
it was a very very
Like
slow
the
outfield.
outfield
I
is
don't know
slowish
what
and the
that was
ground
about.
is huge. Like it's a
No, the
huge
ground
yeah,
is
ground.
it's a bit of
massive,
both.
but the outfield is so very slow. Like,
Bro, you could see
so
the ball slowing down so quickly. Like as soon as he hit it with the pace, if it's India, it's a four, I'm sure. But there it just goes off so quickly. And then the last 5 meters, it's just rolling so slowly. Like I think it was very slow, like the outfield.
but just in general, I think you have KL's batting to take away. Expectations, guys, from day two. You think we'll skittle Australia within the first hour?
I think we can, like, if our bowlers are again on top of their game, it shouldn't take them that long. Like, we can't, one thing we shouldn't let them do is like get free runs with their tail. Like, you can't have them swinging here and there, getting two, three sixes. Like, treat as if every run is precious, because that ultimately does make a lot of difference, because we don't have, like, from our first innings template, we don't have huge batting depth, in the sense we don't have batsmen in good form. We're not going to get a chunk of runs. So if we can somehow get the total to 250, if we can keep a lead of 60, we can, and score say 180, 190, that should be sufficient. The way the first innings, the way how our boys bowled and how these guys were, struggling. So if we can treat runs preciously, if we can skittle them out early, I think this game is ours to take. But again, yeah, we can't let things off the hook, and we have to score. We have to stick as well in the second half, like, because I feel Australian bowlers were kind of better planned, because I felt Cummins came in with game plan for almost every batsman, and he pretty much executed it. Like, you see, like, right after lunch, it was Jurel coming in, and they brought in the part timers. Mitchell Marsh came in and did a very good job. And then
Yeah.
for Pant itself, like the entire over for Pant and the last over where Hazelwood bowled, like, he was not able to get underneath the ball. Like, sorry, he was not able to get over the ball. Like, everything was coming above his hips. Everything was coming like just below his shoulders. And then the one ball that was pitched a little bit up, he went searching for it. So they are going to come much more prepared. They're going to come much more like aggressive to us. So we have to be like, our batsmen should really be cautious.
Yep. Looking forward to an exciting second day's play, and yeah, it's poised very nicely. It's placed very nicely. 67 for 7 Australia moving into the second day. As an Indian fan, I'm sure everybody's hoping in the first half an hour to an hour max, we get them all out. And why are you shaking your head,
Bro, I want this test match to be a 5 day test match. I don't want some 2 days test match. And then next 3 days,
India is going to bat for the next 2 days after that.
Bro,
If
I'm
we can,
seeing Rishi saying he needs 180 runs over there. What do you mean bad for the next 3 days?
if we can bat for the next 3 days and skittle out Australia in the last one day
Bro, but
and day
I feel
session,
like
I'm
the
like,
way
I think you
these,
should give yourself at least
like,
bro,
a day and a half, 2 days to get them.
I
if
still
we
feel like
can
the way these guys
if
are
we
playing,
can
it's
wait for a
just,
whole day, I will more than happily take it. But it's just that I know that is not going to happen.
Brother, this test match is ending in 3 days. We know.
Yeah,
Not
like, I'm just being realistic about it.
that's the sad part. That's why I'm saying I want it to go for a long time. I'd rather have Austria just score a lead so I can have a good test match to watch. I'd rather have that, like, genuinely. So,
it's just looking difficult from this stage. I think that's the only concern. But second day's play, guys. We will catch you soon again. Throughout the, we hope that it's not over by the time we catch you next. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Second day's play. Thanks for watching. Like and share the videos. Subscribe to Sports Kabri, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.